Imagine waking up and struggling to breathe. Your lungs feel like they're on fire as they fill with thick dust. You cough and blood mixes with the mud you're trying to expel. The sky is completely dark even though it's noon, and you can't even see your own hand in front of your face. The air is so thick it's literally suffocating you. This wasn't some dystopian movie. It was reality in America during the 1930s. The Dust Bowl was a nightmare. Children died from suffocation in their beds, and animals dropped dead in the fields. It was a mass exodus. Millions left their homes as the very earth they lived on became a deadly storm. What was the solution? A massive project, an enormous green wall of trees stretching over 1,000 miles. Welcome to one of America's most ambitious ecological undertakings, the Great Plains Shelterbelt. In 1929, the Great Depression loomed ominously over the United States, but something even more terrifying was brewing in America's heartland. The world was in turmoil after Wall Street crashed, but for the farmers in the plains, things were about to get worse. Huge dust storms, called black blizzards, rolled through the region, turning day into night. The sky was consumed by towering clouds of dirt, 10,000 feet high and moving at 60 miles per hour. One storm in 1934 was so powerful that it carried 12 million tons of dust to the east coast, leaving the Statue of Liberty hidden behind a veil of soil. Ships out at sea found their decks covered in dust. On April 14, 1935, Black Sunday, the dust storm swept across multiple states, making it clear that this was not just a weather event, but an environmental catastrophe. What caused this disaster? The answer lies in human actions. After World War I, mechanized farming swept across America, allowing farmers to tear up millions of acres of native grasslands. These once thriving ecosystems had evolved to withstand drought, with deep-rooted plants holding the soil in place. Though once the land was plowed, this natural defense was gone. When drought hit in 1931, the land's exposure turned deadly. By 1934, over 35 million acres of farmland were destroyed, and an additional 125 million acres were losing topsoil. The impact was staggering. Entire communities were wiped out as people fled, with some dying from dust pneumonia. The federal government stepped in. When Franklin D. Roosevelt took office in 1933, he faced not only the Great Depression, but also a looming environmental crisis. His response? The New Deal. However, as the dust storms worsened, a bolder solution emerged. What if a massive wall of trees could block the winds? This led to the Prairie States Forestry Project, later known as the Great Plains Shelterbelt. The idea was simple but daring. Plant an immense forest from North Dakota to Texas. The goal was to create a living wall of trees that would break the wind, hold the soil, and stop the dust storms. While shelter belts had been used by farmers for years, never before had anyone attempted something on this scale. The project was greenlit. In 1934, President Roosevelt authorized the plan, and by March 18, 1935, the first tree, a pine, was planted in Oklahoma. Thousands of workers employed by programs like the Civilian Conservation Corps were mobilized. They planted millions of trees to create rows, each 100 to 165 feet wide, creating a windbreak that stretched over 1,150 miles. The sheer scale of the operation was staggering. Workers faced harsh conditions, battling the very dust storms they were trying to combat. Yet, their determination was unwavering. They planted a variety of tree species, including pines, cottonwoods, and elms, each chosen for their ability to thrive in the harsh conditions of the plains. By 1942, the results were remarkable. More than 220 million trees had been planted, and the dust storms began to subside. The shelter belts reduced wind speed by up to 80%, stopping soil erosion and allowing farmland to thrive again. The trees also created wildlife habitats, helped control pests, and improved the local microclimate by increasing humidity. These benefits were felt almost immediately, with crop yields increasing by up to 15%. Farmers began to see the fruits of their labour as the land slowly recovered. The once barren fields began to flourish again, and communities that had been on the brink of collapse found new hope. The Great Plains Shelterbelt became a symbol of resilience and recovery, showcasing the power of nature when given a chance to heal. But challenges remained. Invasive plants threatened the shelter belts, and as farming equipment grew larger, many farmers began removing trees to make room for more land. By the 1970s, many shelter belts had been abandoned or destroyed, but a significant portion remained. The struggle to maintain the integrity of the shelter belts highlighted the ongoing conflict between agricultural expansion and environmental conservation. Despite these challenges, the legacy of the Great Plains Shelterbelt endured. Conservationists and environmentalists recognized the importance of these trees in combating soil erosion and preserving biodiversity. Efforts were made to restore and protect the remaining shelter belts, ensuring that they continue to serve their vital purpose. Today, the legacy of the Great Plains Shelterbelt endures. Efforts to continue the work of the Great Plains Shelterbelt continue worldwide. In Africa, the Great Green Wall is underway to halt desertification, while China's Great Green Wall continues to grow. These initiatives draw inspiration from the lessons learned in the American plains, demonstrating that the fight against environmental degradation is a global concern. Even in the US, modern conservationists are learning from the past, using shelter belts to protect the environment. The principles of the Great Plains Shelterbelt are being applied in various contexts, from urban landscaping to agricultural practices. The idea that a simple act, like planting a tree, can have profound effects on the environment is gaining traction. The Dust Bowl not only devastated the environment but also had profound socio-economic effects. As families lost their farms, they were forced to migrate in search of work and better living conditions. This mass migration, primarily to California, led to the emergence of a new demographic known as Okies, a term used to describe displaced farmers from Oklahoma and surrounding states. These individuals faced significant challenges as they sought to rebuild their lives in unfamiliar territories. The influx of migrants strained resources in California, leading to tensions between locals and newcomers. Many Okies were met with hostility and discrimination, as they were often viewed as a burden on the economy. The struggles of these families were poignantly captured in literature, most notably in John Steinbeck's The Grapes of Wrath, which depicted the harsh realities faced by those fleeing the Dust Bowl. In response to the Dust Bowl, the US government implemented several policies aimed at preventing future environmental disasters. The Soil Conservation Service, SCS, was established in 1935 to promote sustainable farming practices and soil conservation techniques. This agency played a crucial role in educating farmers about crop rotation, contour ploughing, and the importance of maintaining ground cover to prevent soil erosion. Additionally, the government introduced programs to incentivize farmers to adopt conservation practices. These initiatives included financial assistance for planting cover crops and implementing erosion control measures. Over time, these policies helped to reshape agricultural practices in the Great Plains, fostering a greater awareness of the need for environmental stewardship. The story of the Great Plains Shelterbelt is one of resilience, innovation, and hope. It serves as a powerful reminder of the interconnectedness of human actions and the environment. As we face the pressing challenges of climate change, biodiversity loss, and environmental degradation, the lessons learned from the Dust Bowl and the subsequent efforts to restore the land are more relevant than ever. By embracing sustainable practices, fostering community engagement, and prioritizing conservation efforts, we can work towards a future where humanity and nature coexist harmoniously. The legacy of the Great Plains Shelterbelt inspires us to take action, reminding us that through collective effort and commitment, we can heal our planet and ensure a sustainable future for generations to come. As we reflect on this history, let us carry forward the spirit of the Great Plains Shelterbelt, recognizing that every tree planted, every conservation effort made, and every community engaged contributes to a healthier, more resilient world. Together, we can create a legacy of environmental stewardship that honors the past while paving the way for a brighter future.